And so sports was this part of my whole journey that I just loved. And then in my story, when God really got a hold of me, and I knew it was a distraction because it had postured a place in my heart that only the authority and the honor of the Father should have. And so I knew I needed to let it go, and that's when a mentor, a friend of mine, said, Nathan, it's okay for so-and-so to watch that, but it's not okay for you. And so when me and my wife got together, I was in a place where I was absolutely trying to die to that piece of my flesh. And I had told her I don't really watch sports, blah, 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 blah. Well, come to find out, I kind of backslid on that a lot, where I ended up getting right back into loving sports. And my ADD brain, y'all, listen, I can literally study and be dad and do this and do that and watch sports, and my mind's going a million miles an hour. But I had knew years ago the Father had asked me, will you give me that? And I had gotten to a place where I said yes out of my mouth, and thank goodness for my wife, because my wife literally is the greatest reflection of the Father refining me. Your spouse will be the greatest tool to refine you in the history of people. They are your mirror. They literally will show you your shortcomings, not as a critical person, but just because that's the Father using them to refine you. And what do so many of us do? No. Let's be real. You know the right half mostly every time, husbands to wives and wives to husbands, because the Father uses your spouse or your brother, but especially in that family unit, to refine you. And so we've gotten to a place now in this last season of my life and Alexis's life where there are things that we're saying, Father, cut them off. We'll surrender them. We'll cut them off. We don't want to be distracted with this, and we don't want to be distracted with that. Because if we really believe we're the people of the book, and if we really believe that we're seeing this awakening and this quickening, and things are getting more serious, and the Father is beginning to speak up and to speak out louder, and we're all feeling something's a little bit different, the Father's doing something, we don't have time to be putting all these distractions that are edifying us and refining us in the fire so we can be the most effective ambassador of who the King has called you to be. It's okay for others, but honestly, it's not okay for His people in this season, because it is all hands on deck. The enemy is trying to steal, kill, and destroy. We feel it. We sense it. But if we know the battle plans and the strategies, we can be the most counterintuitive of who He is, because we carry the very mantle that He longs for. Yeshua. And so, it's exciting to be here with you all. I just love the Word, y'all. Like, I'm passionate about this thing. Like, this is all we got. And if anything, the most important piece of all of this is for us to continue to catch the fire, the understanding that it's not all the words that we know in the Hebrew that we know, but if the truth that we're gaining isn't producing fruit, it's not truth if you ask me, because truth has to always reproduce fruit from whom the heart of who He is. And too often, we skip across the surface like a stone from one truth to the next truth to the next truth, and we're never getting the depth of what that truth is supposed to do, which is change your life. And so it's important that our rhythms should be producing fruit. I said it yesterday, but I mean it. We should be the most fruit-producing, magnet attracting to humanity, our walk. We should have more love and joy and peace. If we're claiming we've caught the rhythm of the Torah, we know the instructions, we know the heart of the Father, we have the fire of Yeshua, we should be the most enticing thing to dead men walking, because we should be carrying the mantle of life.